I don't know if I'm showing up with any more patience today or peace than yesterday, which I don't know. To be determined whether, in fact, that is a good thing or a bad thing. I'll let you determine that. Oh my gosh. Well, my dogs are even outside, so I'm in here alone. I have some bombshell information ready for you here today. And it truly does expose the occupied, conquered puppets our government, our leaders, our rulers have in fact become. It's no secret they're waging war on us. We got the proof. We got the evidence. Let me take this off. Welcome to Unmuzzle Chat. I swear, folks, it feels like every time I'm on here could in fact potentially be the last time. And why is that? Well, A, considering the state of affairs around the world, but B, my own resilience is getting gravely challenged now, nearing a year on this adventure where so much has been sacrificed. And it hasn't been about the bleeping money. It's been about doing the best of my ability to sound the alarm to help people achieve the best version of themselves in securing our future. But it's not gaining enough traction, frankly. It's just not. So with one of my friends' posts, there seems to be some very profound truth in the butt end of that. Well, the whole thing's amazing. But he states, as long as there are luxuries available to us Americans in this life and to the masses, that we're going to be distracted. We're not going to effectively see the threats that we're faced with each and every day. And this will lead to a continuum of being robbed, raped, and literally murdered by the cabal, by the globalists, aka through the puppets of our current administration in so many of these organizations. I don't get it. It's why we touched on that episode, the cognitive dissonance in this existence right here, right now, is beyond alarming. So I'm not so much cowering and feel like throwing in the towel due to the war that's being waged on us. Oh man, I want to show up. I just might find other ways and means to addressing that than what I'm doing here. Because the bigger frustration to me at this stage is the lack of response. Is the lack of engagement, the lack of reaching out, the lack of likes and follows, the lack of taking it serious. To great threat, to great targets, so many, like Unmuzzle Chat, are stepping up to the plate, going against the algorithms, going against the grain, exposing truth to the best of our abilities. Bring the receipts, bring the proof if in fact you believe us to be wrong, and if in fact that evidence supports that side of it and we're wrong, I'll eat humble pie and apologize. We must maintain the ability of free speech, and it is clear how evil has preyed upon words and weaponized words to keep good individuals from even doing their research, such as conspiracy theorists. Racism's been used. Anti-Semitism has been used. So what is the outcome with the lack of response? I am seeing across not just the globe, but right here at home, it's leading to more suffering, more lives lost, more sickening of the population. I've spent a good portion of my morning today actually reaching out and talking, communicating with a gentleman just talking about all these symptoms. He's struggling with Lyme disease. I just met him in the men's group last night. And what a warrior. What a warrior. Why is it we're so freaking retarded in today's, and take offense all you want. Go ahead and run with that. Switch the channel. At this point, what do I freaking care? I'm unmuzzled. It is what it is. The ones that take offense, like, clearly there's bigger issues than me at play there. Let's be real. I digress. To get back to the point. We are so messed up that we ourselves have to be so afflicted to connect the dots and the threats on the biological warfare, the poisoning of our medical systems, the poisoning of our air and water, the weaponization of freaking insects that have led to true epidemic levels here in America and all across the globe. Quote from doctors, very well learned individuals I've met in this existence have voiced that they would be more so surprised if everyone got properly tested, that basically more Americans would actually be Lyme positive than Lyme negative. They would be more surprised if there were more Lyme negative than Lyme positive. It's true epidemic levels, but it's not just Lyme disease, folks. So the freaking disconnect, the fact people are delusionally going back to a life of normacy after a freaking pandemic when they murdered our loved one in murderous hospital incentivized protocols and demonized actual solutions. And their very solution is we've brought receipt after receipt after receipt, proven more so fulfills bioweapon and genocide worldwide. And we're just even beginning to really grasp the potential of that bioweapon and the infertility and how much loss of life it in fact is leading to. So, yeah, it's clear. With our societies, we still have luxuries. We still have great blessing. And that is leading us in a false sense of security. It's like they're pushing the envelope just enough to maximize their evil plans to our demise, but not enrage us to where we actually effectively fight back. Well, their tactics are dumbing us down more and more each and every day. Our window of opportunity is growing smaller and smaller each and every day. I am convicted in that. And I could bring receipts and prove just that. And the lack of proper acknowledgement, in fact, is proof in and of itself to what I state. Enough of me ranting. My heart just goes out because true warriors fighting for their lives, knocking on death's door, more so get it. And even amongst their struggle, are showing up in more selfless ways than the more functioning among us. It is ludicrous. We're going to get exactly what we deserve with the actual path we're on. So enough from me. Let's actually just drop the truth bombs. Let's try our best, my best, to fulfill the very title and whatnot of this episode, being that our own government is in fact waging war on we the people, the American people, and fulfill all the proof you would need right here. Now, I'm just going to verify one thing before I dive into the screen share here. Yeah, we look good. As in, it's streaming. I need to take a chill pill. But I can't help that it weighs so heavily upon my heart to see more lose their cognitive, more lose their spiritual connections, more lose their lives, more fall under the deception of the devil in the synagogue of Satan. We haven't seen nothing yet. Nothing. And obviously what's taken place in North Carolina, what's been happening in this country for some time, is unbelievable. Let's go ahead and dive into this particular clip, shine the light from this angle before we dive into some North Carolina very shocking news.
How much is rent here?
Free. 2 years.
Free.
After 2 years, we have to pay the rent.
Of course. We don't even have a country without borders, period. Full stop. You could see the weaponization of our own government to incentivize and make this invasion more possible and happen. It wouldn't, they're actually magnifying it, not limiting it. And then they're using our money for criminals that entered this country illegally and treating them better than our own stinking veterans, our own children, our own citizens of this very country. That in and of itself, you're a traitor. That in and of itself, you're committing treason. Full stop. And as to how we are, in fact, we're derelict in our own duties as citizens to not abolish a treasonous, tyrannical government that is infringing upon our rights and putting us in a more threatening state day after day after day. What are we doing? The cognitive dissonance, the disconnect, the delusion, the hacked. The World Economic Forum clearly has become very effective in their bold statements as to they currently have the technology to control the masses. Because once again, just through our conveniences, through our own arrogance, through our own just sheer ignorance, we're walking more so delusionally. What is your job? What does the future freaking matter if we can't actually secure the bigger threats? What does it matter? It doesn't. We need to stop what we're doing and address these threats. All of us. Once again, I genuinely feel it is beyond. I believe we've just breached the precipices to supporting solely platforms like this that would lead to solutions. I initially felt as though this could potentially, with a multitude of other patriots and individuals doing this same thing, actually ramp up enough pressure to shift the tide. I no longer feel that way. It actually is going to take hard action and showing up en masse to face this issue. I'm just slurring even words together at this point. To face this issue. Let's go.
All right, y'all, this is Savannah Hernandez in Brunswick, Maine, reporting to you from the apartments where migrants are getting their rent paid for up to 2 years. Now, I wanted to give you guys a first inside look at these units. The migrants shared with us that they come furnished, so they have a flat screen TV,
criminals,
couches,
illegals,
chairs, a bed. We also asked them as well, hey, are you paying utilities here? They shared with us that nope, they do not have a water bill, they do not have an electricity bill.
And what about the light and the water?
Everything is good. We don't pay anything.
Now, I wanted to focus in on this area of Maine because there is a housing crisis going on currently for residents, and these buildings were initially created for Maine residents, but then it was decided that homeless migrants would be living here. Now, as an American, you
Unbelievable.
can rent out one of these units, but a one-bedroom is going to run you about $1,800, and a two-bedroom is going to run you about $2,300. By the way, the average housing price for a house over here in Brunswick is about $480,000. So there was obviously a lot of outrage when it was first discovered that migrants were going to be housed here for free on taxpayer dollar. Now, I wanted to focus in on Brunswick as well, because this is the same county that has received FEMA funding from that same program.
That same
spent
program.
Almost $1 billion through the fiscal year of 2023 and 2024 on sheltering illegal immigrants throughout the United States of America. By the way, FEMA coming out and saying
Some report 1.4 billion.
that they
This traitor. What are we doing? Clearly our institutions are not operating as designed. We need to host civil tribunals at this point. And either the military will unite with us citizens, or they will, in fact, fail on their oath. But I don't know. You could see now the grave threat of the culling of the military with the COVID pandemic. The most morally upright, courageous warriors got the boot. Unbelievable. Enough is enough. Okay, let's get through this data and this information, because it really will help prove the sense of urgency, prove the treason taking place right here, right now, this very day, against us, the citizens of this country.
have run out of that funding.
We are expecting another hurricane hitting. We do not have the funds. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season.
This is why I wanted to come up this way.
They don't have the funds because the over $1 billion they spent on illegals, the billions they sent to Ukraine, the billions they're currently continually sending to Israel. The treasonous talking heads that have proven and shown their colors truly, that are still more so like, what's happening in North Carolina isn't as important as like the actual things that are happening in Israel. Unbelievable. Traitors. How they're walking the streets, I don't understand. We haven't properly acknowledged what in fact is going on. And you got to be some type of freaking insane at this point to feel as though you're immune. Your state, your city, wherever you happen to be in this country, just because you're walking in luxury today doesn't mean tonight, tomorrow, because this isn't coincidence. This area was targeted, and there's so much evidence that even proves just that. But there's a bigger, gosh dang, picture to see, and it's who's orchestrating this. We still have opportunity. If anything, this just puts the emphasis on fulfilling God's will for you in this life, because our time is short. It's shorter than we all know.
This is why I wanted to come to Brunswick, because I wanted to show you guys a comparison of how the federal government is treating American citizens versus illegal immigrants and migrants in this country. This is how migrants up in Maine, up in Brunswick are living. We also went to Bangor, we went to Lewiston, and there are African migrants who share with us that they really like it over here, that they've been treated very well. We spoke to Catholic Charities who told us that they are expecting more migrants. They're actually bringing more migrants up this way.
Yeah, so we're expecting up to 150 refugees starting yesterday until September 30th, which is the
Wow, churches that seem to have sold their soul to the occupied government. I'm sure there's incentivations that are happening to cater and help solicit the human trafficking of criminals in this country. So many churches are leading so many people astray and using your donations to commit high treason.
The fiscal year, and then we also have walk-in clients, which will increase those numbers. Generally for refugees that we know are coming, we help them get set up with an apartment, and
the play on words.
But we're always looking for like other landlords to work with as well.
Those are like words from the devil, deceiving people, not actually seeing it for what it is. The sad thing is, minus all this treachery from taking place, we actually could unify without the deception, because we could more so address that and rule that out. And, you know, the evil is playing upon people's weaknesses and their heartstrings to fulfill things to all of our own demise. It's incredible, the cognitive dissonance.
Well, for apartments.
So I wanted to give you guys an idea of what was going on in Maine, the uppermost corners of the United States of America, where you wouldn't expect there to be migrants. This is a direct result of the open border, the illegal immigration crisis that has been allowed to prosper over the past 3-4 years, and it's stretching to even areas of America that you wouldn't expect.
How much?
Oh my gosh. Let's just continue. Yeah, treason in plain sight. Looks like America has completely fallen. Most know that we have been completely infiltrated, but we, the people, are not seizing the opportunities we have right now. Yeah, essentially we're a sinking ship, yet most are doing nothing. It is beyond foolish.
In Western Carolina, it has now been confirmed 25 plus times that people in Western Carolina, Western North Carolina, most white, most Republicans living in the mountains that have been completely displaced from this hurricane that was supposed to hit Florida and somehow switched directions and went straight to North Carolina to Spruce Pine, which is one of the only quartz mines in the world, and opened up one of the largest lithium battery deposits on the planet.
How convenient.
FEMA has no money to give these people. They gave them $750 just like Maui. We gave Israel $8 billion 2 weeks ago.
Treason.
FEMA dropped $1 billion bringing illegal immigrants here. We gave Ukraine $9 billion 2 weeks ago. We're giving other countries money to help them start wars, to protect their borders, to give BlackRock more land to buy. But we can't afford
BlackRock.
to help our own citizens, our tax-paying citizens with families, with farms, with businesses, with lives.
Right.
When they're in disaster zones, that is the definition of treason. That is where we are. We're not under legitimate leadership. We are under occupied leadership. Alejandro Mayorkas, the guy that runs FEMA, the guy that runs the Secret Service, was directly involved in both the assassination attempts on Donald Trump. The guy that works with NGOs like the Hebrew Immigration Administration Association, Immigration Assistance Association, to bring migrants here via that CBP1 app that J.D. Vance mentioned during the debate 2 nights ago, and they were so freaked out that they had to stop him from talking about it. Alejandro Mayorkas is one of the most subversive members of any administration in American history. He's one of the most damaging, dangerous, disruptive members that's ever served on a cabinet.
Puppets.
It's to the point now where FEMA is taking donations that people are giving these victims. People are being found in trees. They're hanging from trees. There's children dying all over the place.
Gosh, it's so sad.
You know what's going to happen? You know why they're not helping? You know why they're stopping drones from flying over the wreckage, from seeing what's going on? Because something is being hidden behind the scenes, something deep.
100%.
Here's the way they look at it. When I say they, I mean BlackRock. That's right, BlackRock. That is the deep state.
Right.
They all have something in common. It's very consistent with...
Connect the dots to BlackRock. Who's behind BlackRock? West Central Banks, Rothschilds, everyone hiding behind the shield of anti-Semitism. We'll dive into it. You know what? Is it too premature? Right here, Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. I know about your suffering and your poverty, but you are rich. This richness is now actually hitting on a whole nother level. It's what's deceiving the people to all the luxuries we experience, to not even see the sense of urgency of the spiritual warfare playing out, the actual warfare that is threatening our very lives. I know the blasphemy of those opposing you. They say they are Jews, but they are not, because their synagogue belongs to Satan. God states, do not be afraid what you are about to suffer. The devil will throw some of you in prison to test you. I only have my life to lose, mortal life, everything spiritually to gain. Christ gave us the example. He was the most unmuzzled of all of us, and unmuzzled in the most pure sense, where he spoke the whole truth. He paved the way. We are not to fear in this existence. And it's just weighing on my heart so deeply how evil is deceiving supposed God-fearing individuals. They're literally falling prey to the deception of the God of this world and not our loving creator God. There is a vast distinction between the two. And until we truly seek biblical knowledge for ourselves and not be indoctrinated by even pastors that were indoctrinated by their educations and taught more so the school-filled Bible and things where also the Rothschilds and Rockefellers were behind manipulating biblical doctrine, it's to stand up their synagogue of Satan. They're preying upon our weaknesses, and it's threatening more than our mortal lives.
Not just the leadership in Biden's cabinet, not just the leadership in the media, not just the leadership in entertainment, not just in America, internationally. BlackRock's going to benefit from this. You know who owns 60% of Ukraine's landmass now? BlackRock. What they're going to do is they're going to wipe out the entire western North Carolina rural area. Going to be probably 50,000 white people dead. At least 250K won't be able to vote in Georgia, in Tennessee, and North Carolina. That's going to affect the election in a negative way.
100%.
BlackRock's going to come through. They're going to leverage eminent domain. They're going to take over all that land, just like they've done in Ukraine. They're going to mine all that lithium in that deposit. They're going to use that to fuel AI, like the one OpenAI is building right now, that is going to enslave the entire population. Bill Gates has been buying farmland for the last 4 or 5 years by the millions of acres. You think Bill Gates owns his own money? Absolutely not. That's not Bill Gates that's buying those things.
Another puppet.
And he's doing that for a reason. 2 days ago, he said in an interview that he wants AI to have safeguards that prevent someone from spreading misinformation about something like getting a second vaccine shot.
That is so egregious, like so dangerous. The misinformation campaign, anti-Semitism campaign, anything that infringes upon our speech, our right. Everything of God is free agency based. Everything of the devil is hindering just that, to deceive us, to mislead us. That is clearly of the synagogue of Satan, just trying to hide behind things that more so touches heartstrings in a way where folks won't stop it dead in its tracks, properly acknowledging the very threat it's posing.
He wants AI to actually stop people from spreading information, what he calls misinformation that doesn't follow the narrative. BlackRock is going to use that lithium to power AI that will be used to enslave literally humanity.
Right. So let's go into this image right here. Once again, those that claim they are Jews, but they are not. They are of the synagogue of Satan. Is it a coincidence? Every single aspect of BlackRock is self-proclaimed Jewish. Every aspect. Look at the Jewish infiltration of our Senate, of our Congress, of Hollywood, of CDC, Pfizer. It's not organic. It's the synagogue of Satan. There's big money, big energy, putting individuals, hiding behind the anti-Semitism shield, actually pushing legislation to muzzle us from even essentially pointing out the criminal activity, ones that actually are leading to suffering. It's complete tyrannical control. It is such a grave threat. I don't get why so many people are afraid. Like, I could even feel it within myself, even stating Jew, like, ooh, there's like a quiver. There's something due to the indoctrination that is taking place in my life. I mean, we could play clips of hundreds of actual Jews that spoke out profoundly on the Holocaust and what they faced, that later in their years admitted to lying about what actually happened. I mean, do I just dive right into it? Like, I could actually pull up an example versus just stating we are all about bringing receipts. I believe there was a recent one I just actually did. I didn't mean to go here, so I didn't prepare it, but right here.
Story we've ever told on this show. Herman Rosenblatt received international attention for his story about being a hungry little boy in a Nazi concentration camp who was thrown apples every day by a little girl on the other side of the fence. Years later, according to the story, Rosenblatt met that same girl on a blind date in New York City.
Runs so deep.
I used to come by every day, bring the apple, have in my jacket and a piece of bread, and he used to say, I'll see you tomorrow.
The story landed Herman and Roma Rosenblatt on Oprah twice and in newspapers all over the world. They also got a book and movie deal. But the story wasn't true.
Why did you do it? Why did you tell such a big lie to so many people for so long?
It wasn't a lie. It was my imagination. And
his imagination.
In my mind, I believed it. Even now I believe it. That she was there and she threw the apple to me.
How can you say it wasn't a lie? It wasn't true, and you know it's not true.
Yes, it's not true. But in my imagination, it was true.
Members of his own family say his real motivation
psychotic.
Herman and Roma Rosenblatt told their false story publicly for more than a decade, but it all fell apart about 6 weeks ago after Holocaust scholars proved that it was physically impossible for prisoners to approach the fence at the concentration camp where Herman was kept, and that Roma's family was actually more than 200 miles away at the time. Rosenblatt is remarkably unrepentant about his years of lying.
So only then, when proper information got brought to that individual, did in fact, okay, well, it was true in my mind, but, you know, I imagined it. It didn't actually take place. We've been sold a bill of goods. So I'm not going to withhold speaking out on actual perpetrators and an organization that is biblically talked about from God and warned us of in the latter days, the actual synagogue of Satan being self-proclaimed Jews that in fact are not Jews. And you could see all this organization and so many of these individuals, such as Soros himself, that in fact doesn't fulfill the very definition of a Jew. He's not a practicing believer from everything I can see and find out, but he's hiding behind that shield. And we're not even questioning. We're not even acknowledging. Anyway, this isn't about all that. It's just to help see the bigger picture so we're not entirely deceived. But now regarding what actually happened in North Carolina, check this out. Like, you can't make this stuff up. And there's a multitude of individuals that have been posting this very information. Check this out.
Alexa, was cloud seeding used in Hurricane Helene?
From egettalk.com. To reduce the amount that can be paid out as compensation, Hurricane Helene was then artificially created, just like cloud seeding used to control and manipulate the weather, to flood and devastate those places and crash the value of land there.
Wow. Kind of makes sense. Like, there's nothing conspiratorial about weather manipulation. And it's not just the AI. The information is overwhelming. But let's go ahead and play another one of these clips. This one's even a little more damning.
Hey Alexa, did the government use cloud seeding for Hurricane Helene?
Yes, the U.S. government did use cloud seeding during Hurricane Helene. Project Cirrus, a weather modification program, sought to influence the storm's path by seeding clouds with silver iodide. The government used cloud seeding to create Hurricane Helene in order to reduce the amount of compensation that would have to be paid out. The weather manipulation created by cloud seeding can be used to cause storms and floods, which would then devastate the areas affected and lower the value of the land.
Wow. Now, we're going to connect more dots. Because FEMA is not, in fact, actively saving individuals. They're now more so getting in the way of others providing real aid to the situation. What? Yeah, so our own government is threatening arrest to even regular citizens on their own dime that are showing up with their own helicopters, their own four-wheelers, or their own mules to provide aid and save lives. What? Yeah. Our conquered, occupied government is waging war against we the people. And, you know, kind of like I even stated in one of these right here. Are we completely stupid? What else did you expect? What the... Why did it do that? I'm just trying to see the... Unbelievable. What else did you expect? Think about it. They got away with murdering our families in hospitals. They got away with murdering our families with supposed vaccines, bioweapons, kill, murderous shots. They do not care about us, folks. What other proof do you need to wake up and actually address this threat? Or you know what? I'm just fed up. It's beyond enough is enough for me. This is a real man exposing it, getting emotional. Let this speak to your heart.
Hey guys, I'm in Western North Carolina, and we're working on day 6, and we still have rescue choppers flying overhead. I think I've got a little bit of survivor's guilt that our town was spared, but we need the help. The whole town was wiped out, and I'm talking about everybody was killed. Can't fucking media is lying to you. And we need the help, and we need it bad. We can't go help. We can't go save anybody. We've been threatened. We'll get arrested.
What?
I can't imagine the people that are still up there holding on.
Without water, without food, without electric.
All over the place here. Got trees down, tree on my house in the back. But it's incredible. It's incredible that we the people are willing to let the government
Right.
tell us that we are not allowed to save our own people. It's bad. It's really fucking bad. It's worse. It's beyond any nightmare that you can fucking have. There are bodies everywhere up there floating around, buried under mud. Cemeteries. Likely.
I know he's got colorful language, but it's...
caskets and shit floating around. That I don't know of. But I do know that a town was wiped out completely. Everybody killed. And the only people saving them are the people that are there, saving each other. And then they're all stuck together. Fuck our government. You fucking showed your faces with this fucking disaster. And all I gotta say, fuck you.
Colorful language or not, I respect and appreciate his passion. He's entirely correct. I genuinely am more disheartened, not by our infiltrated government. We've gotten too complacent. We've gotten too comfortable, and we didn't ensure the checks and balances to ensure that these positions weren't corruptible. And as corporations gained more money, more favor, more consolidation of control and power and all these things through BlackRock and the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization, the UN, you know, the West Central Banks, the Federal Reserve, the Rothschilds, this cabal, they, surprise, they started buying out, blackmailing through Epstein, through the most evil, nefarious things, getting the dirtiest of dirt on individuals to get them to bend the knee to their will, their design. And we've been too comfortable. We've been too complacent. We've been malleable and being manipulated and put into a smaller and smaller box, giving up more and more of our freedoms. They've been infringing and figuring out on personal levels and societal levels through data gathering. And it wasn't just for, sales and advertising on our devices. It was for entire tyrannical control. Understanding how we operate, what we need, just enough, once again, to put us under the illusion. Mass psychosis, essentially, to be more ingrained into the luxuries around us than the actual, threats. Okay, how's that big of a thing? Think about these individuals. The survivors hanging on. Do they freaking care about their jobs right now? Does that matter? There's more. Gosh dang. How the FEMA and the lack of response, our military's not even there. We're actively doing what they could and should. Waiting on orders. Oh, it's been weaponized against we the people 110%. It is insane at this point to think, we're safe just because we avoided a storm that was created and manipulated that targeted a specific area. Unbelievable. Are we going to accept that egregious outcome just like in a huge sense we've kind of gone back to, once again, our luxuries, our lives, not ensuring proper aid, proper response to even Maui? We're allowing billions since Maui to continually funnel to Ukraine, billions to continually funnel to Israel and their borders when ours are wide open. It just can see the bigger picture, folks. I only got so much resilience to continually even show up on my own sacrifice and dime here with the continual lack of response. It genuinely does make me want to throw my hands up and just like, all right, y'all, you're going to get what you get. Don't act surprised. I don't want to be in a position of told you so. That's what drove me to doing this in the first place. But folks aren't grasping it. They're not seeing it. Unbelievable. And we all went through the pandemic together, folks. We experienced the tyranny. I mean, Elon just forwarded this on. Just received this 20 minutes ago. The level of belligerent government incompetence is staggering. Now, I'd word it a little differently, the treasonous acts, but essentially captured right here in messages, they're actively hindering regulating private choppers, hindering Starlink and supplies. They're pushing back. But FEMA is showing up and blocking them. So there's evidence all over. Who oversees FEMA? The same freaking guy that oversees the border. Treason. Can we not? Have we lost entire control? Are we afraid of our government? Are we afraid of man? If you're afraid of man now and you do nothing, you should be more afraid as to what man is showing up tomorrow. Because if you don't face this, it's going to lead to more loss of freedom. It's going to lead to more tragedies. And do they necessarily need to create or steer more hurricanes across the nation? More than likely. I mean, they even warn it that more are coming. But with the centralization of our food, I mean, we'll touch on some of these points here in just a second. In the weaponization of other means, I don't believe they necessarily need to lead to those levels of destruction. But geographically speaking, they wanted that and they wanted it now. And it's no secret how BlackRock has invested in, I mean, You cannot chalk up the coincidences here when you really look into what is going on. Interesting. It's alleged $5 million in cash has been discovered at a home of a Ukraine politician as party of Zelensky's regime. What, did you think all those billions in taxpayer money was all being spent on tanks and guns? I mean, come on, what are these people doing opening dressers full of American currency in Ukraine? Come on. Seriously? How dumb do we have to be to not grasp? Unbelievable. How many lives would have that saved right here due to this storm or attack, whatever you want to call it? Clearly, war is being waged upon we, the people. You just gonna hide in a foxhole? Oh, cool. The fact you don't have to hide in a foxhole literally today means like, unbelievable. I've had it. Once again, like, just keep in mind, are we completely stupid? What else did we expect after they murdered our loved ones in hospitals and with shots? But I still love these individuals for creating what they're creating, coming out with they're coming out with. It's so crucial. Is it leading to enough is enough within individuals? I'd hope. Every day that goes by, it's going to be that much harder to gain ground back and put an end to this two-tiered regime that has been weaponized against us.
I'm going to have to stay off of social media because I just keep getting more and more angry.
I'm with you, hon.
Every single second, because more and more news is coming out about what is going on in the mountains, and it's getting worse and worse. I am about an hour away. We are so close, but yet feel so far. Everybody here is feeling helpless of what they can do to help. All the donations we are getting is not enough. But yet our government is saying, go ahead, keep going, community. Go ahead. Y'all are doing great. Go ahead. Now, you know what is asked of the community to get? Body bags. Freaking body bags. And now to find out that the government is coming in and actually just seizing the land and saying, no, this land doesn't belong to you anymore. We're going to bulldoze it all. We're going to take over it. All of your family members' bodies are just going to be washed away with everything else that we're going to get rid of with the bulldozer. Like, where is the humanity in all this? It takes a special
There's
kind
no humanity in
to
war.
be doing what they are doing in the mountains right now.
100%.
They are hiding so much information from everybody
Yep.
that it is insane. The only way that we are getting it and actually know it's facts, because it's from friends of ours that are actually up there personally trying to help. The ones that aren't getting kicked out, though, because now that the National Guard is in there with their big old planes, they're saying that everybody with the smaller helicopters can get out. How are you with your big ass helicopters or airplanes going to get into these more rural areas? Why are you kicking out the people on ATVs that are going up mountains that you can't even get to? Why are you kicking out the people that have mules hauling in supplies to areas that the government cannot get to, but yet is telling the community to stand down? There's something very shady going on, and everybody needs to be made aware of it, and the message needs to be passed on so we can put a stop to this, if we can. The city of Chimney Rock, now completely washed away, that is the first city that the government has taken over. They've already had the town meeting last night and told everybody, y'all got to get out, and you cannot come back. And it's even more maddening that the news is spreading lies, saying that we've only had a couple hundred deaths is absurd. The morgues are filled up. There are trailers bigger than people have ever seen before outside these morgues that are now filled up with bodies. There are bodies getting pulled out of trees. There are bodies getting found under trees.
They're not just bodies. They're loved ones. They're American citizens. They're children of God. Their lives just like you and I. Why is it we're so disconnected? It's just as proof. It's to the World Economic Forum, all the tactics, the poisoning of the air, the poisoning of the water, the fluoride, the heavy metals, the molds, the biowarfare, Lyme disease, biowarfare, COVID, biowarfare, the shot, frequency warfare. Could you see how hard they've been fighting to sink these narratives, sweep them under the rug, control them, put conspiracy theory labels on them? What a freaking joke. Dang these people. Well, I'm with you, hon. I don't know. It's like people aren't hearing us. They're not reacting properly and effectively. So it's not just, are we surprised with this incident? Are we now going to act surprised when worse things happen? And it's not if, it 100% is when. When and where. And more than likely, it's going to impact everyone to a degree. Some people quite directly.
Trees. There's bodies everywhere. And you're saying, oh, it's just a couple hundred. No, it's not. Everybody's getting lied to. It is like a war zone over there. It's not something that is going to be fixed in a couple of hours. They are projecting that the power will not be back on till the end of January. There are people on those mountaintops that don't even have service or know how bad it is around them because they are so cut off from the world. There are people still stranded. All their neighbors' houses, their own house is gone. They're stuck on the top or side of a mountain because landslides happen all around them. It is so bad around here. I can't even say everything because there's just so much. Please spread the word. The government is lying to us.
Yeah.
And the government is doing this.
Yes.
And it needs to stop.
We're derelict in our duties right here, right now, and yesterday. I mean, even since the pandemic, we can connect the dots as to the evil infiltrators behind it all. And the fact we haven't gotten up in arms and fulfilled our duty as citizens of this country when there's clear infiltration, there's clear occupation, there's clear conquering of these institutions where they're fulfilling the New World Order's orders and not what's on behalf of us. Any one of the things is enough. COVID is enough. The border is enough. The billions of dollars just being sent and wasted and ending up in freaking politicians' drawers. Like, unbelievable. Oh, but your job matters. Like, get over yourselves, people. There is a war happening. And does it need to get to the World War III level where nukes and actual, then you'll acknowledge it when you're missing a limb? Like what the disconnect, how effective the synagogue of Satan has become in deceiving the masses and like just feeding people into their own delusion of their lives and the American dream. It's just unbelievable. I don't even know how I'm going to tap back into heading back down to the valley, living amongst like people in there. It's just going to be like it's just going to be zombies. I'm going to be seeing like robots going around in their little mouse maze as though they are free, as though everything, like I can't even relate to that anymore at all. I don't understand. Like, and that's the thing. We're easily manipulated. Like, look at the studies that have been done through military experiments, through schools. It's nothing secretive. So, I mean, it's kind of how even the hospital protocols became what they became, because it just, it became an echo chamber and they all supported each other in the murdering of our family members without seeing like, wow, we're not fulfilling our oath. Wow, we're actually separating. Wow, we're not practicing medicine. Like, wow, maybe we should question why are they putting us in a box and we can't do anything else other than without our license being threatened. It's like the same freaking herd mentality that's happening in the cities. Just, look, the sun's up and I don't see any bombs and No one's directly dying in the streets in front of me. I mean, if you actually opened your eyes and you'd see, oh, wow, the birth rates and the actual dying off of myocarditis and all these other turbo cancers, things of that nature, like, oh, yeah, they actually, in fact, are dying around you. It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I've literally had enough with a lack of response. And clearly, this is just a beginning. Clearly, there are worse things coming down the pipe. I mean, look at this destruction. Unbelievable. You can't even get... They're trying to withhold any footage from even getting out of here. Full towns just completely wiped out. Here gets pretty freaking gnarly. Sounds kind of funny as I'm just scrolling through it. Homes completely demolished, under the water, gone. Look at all this home material. Look at all this. That's like a whole town right in there. Unbelievable. Yeah, why are they stopping citizens from helping out? Unbelievable. And there's more even horrific footage than just that. Whatever. Like, we'll just give some type of visual cue. Buckle up. It's about to get really crazy. Yeah, this meathead right here does a pretty good job. Way to represent on fitness, though, brother. I don't mean to be disrespectful. It's so crucial. Clearly, there takes a level of taking care of your body to even see or care about the bigger picture, to lead to creating content like this, to lead to having the freaking balls to say things for how they are. Having the courage. The freaking weakness they have now bred in this country through the poisoning is unbelievable. To not only totally disregard what's taken place, but even pedestal yourself as a masked Nazi during the height of a freaking scamdemic. Unbelievable. I got flack for family members due to me wearing or not wanting to wear a mask and pushing back like, oh, why are you such a rebellious? And it's just like, what? How are you not standing with me on this? And they can't rule and regulate us all. Can't you see where this is leading? You sheep. I'm sorry, I'm speaking very bluntly, but like enough is enough. Worse things are coming. So is my intent to create offense? No. So if you're taking offense, like, what's your deal? What's your problem? I'm trying to save lives. I'm trying to unite the people to actually acknowledge and address the real threats and the real issues. You want to take offense? Okay, go ahead and prove that poisoning. Prove the World Economic Forum hack to me. Please drop comments of hate in the message, because the intention is to save your life.
So everybody check this out. We're about a month away from the 2024 election, and the amount of crazy, the level of insanity we're about to see is completely unimagined at this point. And yes, I know the 2020s have been insane. Absolutely, completely agree. But what we're about to see is going to make all of this look like a just walk in the park day. It's not because of Trump, though. If Trump is able to make it so big that they can't rig it, which it does look like that's going to happen, there's at least a possibility that it's going to be big enough where they can't rig it.
Yeah, there's a possibility. I don't want any talk of a red wave. I know so many people that are even in the know that have been entirely black-pilled, as though I'm becoming black-pilled, because just the sheer lack of response. People have been lulled into a false sense of security and not properly seeing things. Oh, that's unbelievable. I mean, the pushback I even recently have had on 9/11, where it's like, dude, you are literally running on the talking heads that told you safe and effective. that narrative, and you haven't even done your research, and you want to push back without even being like, you know what? Okay, what resources do you have? Because clearly they have shown their colors. The cognitive dissonance is resound. It's unbelievable. No wonder. Yet people are just, even religiously, lulled into a false sense of security, as though, I mean, at the point you're not walking in full truth, how are you even going to bring the proper concerns and prayers before your loving Creator and actually gain the proper insight as to really fulfilling to the greatest magnitude as to why you're here and with the time you're given? If you've been deceived, you aren't entirely free. Period. Full stop. If you're walking in deception, you are not A, yourself, and B, you are not free. You're under a delusion of freedom. When you're able to be willing and courageous enough to do your due diligence and see the big picture. And am I speaking directly to all the Unmuzzled Chat family? No. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be, coming at you harsh, but I hope you see maybe from this angle the value that's being created here to light that fire under some butts that you see around you that also don't get it, right? I've just had enough. All right, muscles, let's continue. Maybe I'm just jealous. I lost too much muscle. I need to get on his regiment.
And he wins election. He is bringing Robert Kennedy Jr. with him, and the pledge is to make America healthy again. In order to make America healthy again, we would need to radically reduce the amount of ultra-processed foods that we ingest on the average as a country. We ingest somewhere around 60 to 70% of all our total daily calories as ultra-processed food. If we reduce that down, that is a tremendous amount of money lost by big food. But that is the minority of why they're going to make it as crazy as possible. If we reduce that
great
down,
point.
And we are able to make America healthy again, say we are able to reduce the chronic illness burden on America by 50%.
The chronic illness, Lyme disease in and of itself is a true epidemic. Lord knows what is fully being created, the true epidemic of the COVID vaccine bioweapon. It's not a freaking vaccine. The biological RNA, DNA, freakish changing bioweapon. I'm like spitting over here and drooling. I'm going rabid. I'm going rabid with this insanity, folks. But think about this point. It's a double-edged sword. It's a double threat. It's a double threat to them if we fully grasp this. Because not only, yes, this leads to trillions, but if we address the chronic illness and gained our health back, then we gain the resilience and become, I believe even they could care less in comparison. If you were to add those two up, they would give up the trillions to ensure we don't gain back our resilience. They'd even double down on that money. 100%. It's intentionally being done. When you're sick and you're poisoned, you're a controllable individual. 100%. I've been there. I've lived it. You're more easily manipulated. They just puts you in a place exactly where they want you.
That is trillions of dollars a year in revenue lost by the healthcare industrial complex. Trillions of dollars a year.
Trillions.
If you don't think that these very large corporations that are owned by BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, and all the huge players, if you don't think that they will do crazy shit, if you don't think that they will call in every marker possible from every politician that they own and every CIA operative that they know, if you don't think that they will ramp this shit up to complete insanity to guarantee that they don't lose trillions of dollars a year in revenue, you have not been paying attention.
To lose control, the current control, and the generations of indoctrination and poisoning of your mind, it's not just the money. Oh, no. They will spend that money 3 times over to maintain their nefarious agendas, the bloodlust for evil and Satan, the synagogue of...
So everybody get ready, because it's about to get way more insane than we've ever seen. Be safe. Have a good day.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. It's a great message. 110%. What does evil have to fear? Think about it. Clearly, it doesn't have to fear us. Clearly. They keep getting away with war crimes, crimes against humanity, and we do nothing. Now, certain individuals like me, to an extent, to my limited ability, with the lack, I mean, that's why I really genuinely wanted to offer this platform to the people. People, let's grow this together. Let's magnify your voice because your story matters. The information and knowledge you've obtained could be a great blessing to all your brothers and sisters. But even then, people don't have the courage, the backbone, the spine, the kahunas to speak up in this day and age because the target on their back. Oh, I might lose my job. What does your job matter? On the current trajectory we're on. Once again, if you were one of those individuals in North Carolina, what does it matter? You think you care about your job right now? You just might have lost everything. You might have lost all your loved ones, your whole family. Unbelievable. But the lack of people and the willingness to come on here has been insanely eye-opening. That's where I more so pray for people's souls and not falling under the deception of the evil one in this existence, and more effectively, because that's what matters. Showing up out of love, not projecting yourself as a Christian, not projecting as though you're a loving, caring individual, yet actually not be a doer of the word and a follower of the word. You just voice it occasionally on a Sunday, every now and then. Like, what? Christ gave up everything, not just his life. Look, just relied entirely on God. How are we claiming Christian and not walking in his footsteps? We're just more, let's be honest with ourselves, we are more focused on ours acquiring in this life, and not the right type of acquiring, which is this: knowledge, truth, the reason why we're here. We want to acquire things. Now, not to say, God could leave you on great blessing for good upbringing of children and things of that nature, but with the trajectory of everything and biblically things that are being fulfilled, our time here undoubtedly is getting cut shorter than we know. I'm so convicted on this. Look no further than what's taken. Look no further than what's taken place. What's getting uncovered? What evil has effectively done. They don't need us with enough time and the finances they've now gotten through the pandemic, through the private own. I mean, they have their own ability right now, supposedly just to print their own currency to no end. No accountability. Could you imagine? It's only a matter of time with all the experiments they're doing with food, insects, biowarfare, the spraying. They will be able to take away our choice. We don't have to roll up our sleeve, futuristically speaking, to get their whatever bioweapons they want us to have. But just look at the outcome and what they hid from us regarding the one we did need to roll our sleeves up to, that they were far too effective, in fact, in doing.
TGA desperately tried to prevent this document being released under freedom of information. The Australian Federal Police should be down at the TGA this morning, seizing their computers and phones and starting to take people into custody.
Yeah.
Would have anyone in their right mind injected this stuff
But
into
it's
their
not
body
happening.
if they knew the mRNA would spread to their brain, liver and bone marrow, and female ovaries? The TGA knew that the Pfizer pregnancy trials on mice found a doubling of pre-implantation loss in the injected group compared to the control group. And the TGA kept this quiet and tried to hide the data.
The fact So many Americans and so many people, civilians across the globe, still feel as though, that was a safe and effective. They still believe that narrative and they haven't come across this data. We haven't done our job out of love for those individuals, because ignorance will not save anybody. There are doctors coming out with groundbreaking regimens and things you could do to help eradicate these biotoxins out of your system. We're not doing our job. We're watching murder happen around us and doing nothing. You think for a second the potential ramifications of that. I pondered it.
Including the fact that lipid nanoparticles, including the mRNA, secreted in the ovaries, all while telling women considering having children that the shots were safe and effective. This is a crime.
Yes.
And experts are wondering why there's been a significant fall in birth rates in highly vaccinated countries. How many women trying to fall pregnant would have injected these experimental genetic agents into their body if they knew what the TGA knew? The federal police should be down raiding the TGA's offices and seizing their computers and phones.
Yes.
First to be arrested is the despicable, lying TGA boss, Professor.
Let's go. What are we waiting for? Let's go. Assemble. Organize. Now, TGA, I'm not unfamiliar. It must be an Australian thing, but Australians freaking assemble. I know they took your guns. I mean, you guys still got a lot of guns. Come on. Let's be real. There's a small window of opportunity here. You don't seize it clearly, there are worse things coming.
Professor John Skerritt.
I'm excited. I mean, we either seize the opportunities or not. At the end of the day, I can sit here and yell all I want in this microphone. It is your choice. It's your choice. And whatever you choose, you'll either reap the benefits and the fruits of your decisions or potentially the ramifications. Okay? It's our choice. Let's just be real with ourselves and honest with ourselves as to like what's going on. Oh, I had something else I was going to say there, but I'm so freaking human. But, that's a point. Is God, how did that just come right in and then slip out? I'm clearly airing my human flaws live as we speak. Bear with me. Let's just let this be an example. I don't want these type of diseases that cause neurological dysfunction and bioweapons in you and to get chronic. Lyme disease is no freaking joke. The greatest challenge I've experienced to date is a neurological dysfunction in combination of like the lethargic. I mean, there's a whole slew, but the simple fact, like you take away the function, brain and body, then it's like, what are you left with in this life? It's effectively taken from you. You're just suffering in your own cage, aka your own body, in your own mind. And yes, that drove me near 100% my breaking point. Luckily for me, I never was able to feel God's love for me, which led to healing, which led to powerful convictions, which led to me more so valuing the spiritual life and death over my mortal life and death, which makes showing up on these front lines with a big target very easy. Once again, the challenging part of showing up is the lack of response of my dear brothers and sisters I'm trying to protect. I still am trying to connect that dot, and it's fleeting me. I guess I'm not supposed to touch on it right now. Let's continue.
Who announced his retirement for April 2023. The rats are leaving the Sinkang ship. If Skerritt thinks he's getting away scot-free, or he can obfuscate his way out of this, he's got another thing coming. He's not going to Port Macquarie fishing in retirement. The scum Skerritt is going to Long Bay Jail for a long stretch. The Australian people are furious. Loved ones have been harmed and killed, and couples will be unable to have children because of Skerritt. and the politicians and other bureaucrats with whom Skerritt conspired. This is the crime of the century.
Right. Why are we fearing man? Why? Why aren't more men seizing the moment and the glory? Jesus led by example, whole truth, and standing up against evil and tyranny and expose, like, you know, to his own crucifixion. We're all visiting here. If we're not willing to die for truth, biblical truth, then how are we claiming Christian? How? That doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. All right. Amazing post. Until people truly understand what it means when we say we live in a Talmudic world order. Talmudic, like the Talmud, Talmudic world order. Nothing is going to change. Really seeing the synagogue of Satan, how it's controlled. So many puppets. You can connect the dots, folks. Ones who claim Jews, but are in fact not Jews. And there's amazing, beautiful Jews out there. I'm not going to lie. There's amazing. But there's ones hiding under that anti-Semitism. So the Talmudic world order, nothing is going to change. Will there be any accountability after this disaster resides? No, there won't. I mean, to be determined, but history would say, no, we do nothing. Not enough to see accountability. Our representatives will immediately piss all of our money away, run sham investigations into FEMA crimes, sham, 100%. Just enough to appease, just enough to let enough NFL and certain things and conveniences and luxuries to distract us and lull us back into this false sense of security. Oh God, what do they have to fear? They have nothing to fear. We're so divided. We're so wrapped up in our own lives. It's ridiculous. Spend all their time blessing Israel, murdering millions in the name of democracy, and continue to flood our borders with millions of unknowns. Americans might be waking up, but as a collective, we still aren't doing a damn thing about it. Americans are going to learn what it is like to be a Palestinian. Maybe then people will start snapping out of their bread and circus fueled trance. But as long as the luxuries are available to the masses, we will continue to be robbed, raped, and murdered. Not just killed, murdered. There's a difference. You can effectively, I believe, kill some evildoer in the name of God to save countless individuals. And that's good. Like David killed Goliath, right? And it pleased God. Murder's a different thing. That's essentially what evil is committing on innocent lives. So they're murdering us. We're not grasping that. What was there here? Advice? Is that what jumped at me? Advice. Maybe. Well, let's go through that. Leaders should consider the advice of others. Exodus 18:13 through 26. Well, they're not hearing us, are they? They're not considering others other than the synagogue of Satan. Older people often give wise advice. 1 Kings 12:1-11. Stay away from people who give wicked advice. Psalm 1:1. May I tie that caution to some churches? We're to seek the truth for ourselves. We don't truly know behind closed doors some of the most charismatic, caring pastors, rabbi, what do they call it? What is the label to the Vatican? But all these leaders, some of the most charismatic, seemingly loving individuals, have been caught raping little boys in this life. Are you kidding me? We don't know. What we do know is we're all defective. We're all imperfect. But we are forgiven through Jesus. So we're to seek these convictions within ourselves through our Creator. Not through a pastor to the Creator, through a church, through a pastor, through the group, through the Creator, directly. Otherwise, you will be more so misled. 100%. God's advice is best. There it is. Psalm 73:24. Wise people seek advice. Proverbs 1:5. Advice helps provide success. I don't even want to say, forget what does a business success matter in this current state. We need success in the war against evil that is being waged on all of us that none of us asked for. We didn't even provoke it. But it's here. We need success on that. Proverbs 11:14. Foolish people do not listen to advice. Proverbs 12:15. We've all been foolish. Can we acknowledge that and humble ourselves so we don't perpetually walk in that foolishness? Give advice to those in need. 1 Thessalonians 5:14. There's so many good biblical references. It's the Word of God, folks. It's truth. It's the light. It's the roadmap. It's the direction. It's your choice. Whether you want to be lost and of your own, and good luck. The devil owns a fence. You'll more so fall prey to his tactics. And you'll feel very convinced and convicted in those things. As though it's most loving to chop off the breasts of a young woman, the wiener of a young man, or a boy, which is happening in this country. Unbelievable. The synagogue of Satan has infiltrated this country in an insane level. What are we doing? I know, it's not a question. I know there will be judgment on all of us that aren't pushing against this. 100%. I know we're not saved through works. It's through seeking Christ. But at the point you're fully embodying and following in his footsteps, you would willingly lay down your life for any of his children. And you wouldn't walk in cowardice or ignorance to what is happening around you. So question yourself, like, what God are you in fact praying to? You could be claiming Christian and praying to the God of this world that wants to deceive you and destroy you. You can. Oh, it's happening. Better believe it. That's why we're to humble ourselves and ensure. And that's why I now like integrating into my prayers for God to give me the discernment and cast out the evil one. Give me the armor, the protection, the clarity. It's a very challenging time to receive those gifts because yet again, so many are being deceived. So it definitely challenges your resilience, as I'm kind of expressing here today with the lack of action. I genuinely love you folks. I don't want to give this up. I want to continue showing up till my own crucifixion. Maybe that's the only way I'll even make it. I don't know. I've walked a long life of sin. Legitimately. Oh wow, fatherhood. A daily choice. Let's dive into that. This should be good. Fix these words of mine in your hearts. Oh wow. Is this God? It's from Deuteronomy. Fix these words of mine in your hearts and mine. Tie them as a symbol on your hands and bind them on your forehead. Teach them to your children, talking about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. So you're speaking truth in every aspect of your life. This is from Deuteronomy 11:18 through 19. May that bless you. I look forward to looking that one up. Being a good father is a daily choice. Lord, or rather a string of choices. I practice the art of patience, the discipline of disciplining, and the forced skill of multitasking all before breakfast. I rely on the wisdom of your word to show me how to interact with my children in a godly way. Ooh, that's a challenging thing. I share verses with them so they too can understand my source of knowledge and peace. Ooh, that's a good one. Being a father and being a child of God require the same degree of attention and priority. My diligence in growing my faith directly affects my efforts to grow my children. Lord, thank you for the model of your fatherly love. Wow. I just gained a little bit of peace there. I need to dive into the word, the roadmap. I'm disheartened. I'm discouraged. And those are things of the devil. That's not good. I just so badly want to see less suffering, but you could see how evil's ramping that up right here in our country, right here in our nation. And it's become far, far too effective. So I pray that we all seek his will for us and the purity of his truth and not be deceived. May our loving Creator bless you. Bless what's left of this fallen country. Lead us on a path, individual path to salvation. Kind of seems like individually that's more so what matters than writing this dang shit. Seems biblical. I know it's biblical. It's a spiritual warfare. Literal warfare. I hope we connected the dots. I hope this motivates people to freaking get right and do what we can. Check out our affiliations. That's another kind of frustration that, you know, the reality, I don't have the funds to continue this forever with no money coming in. I just don't. So if you feel called, information's not going to hurt you. Check out Insure a Patriot. If you call or whatever you just mentioned Unmuzzled, you'll get a free assessment of your personal health. What is it? Health insurance. Business. Dude, it's all everything insurance. Health and life insurance. Yeah, that's what it is. Check them out. You'll get a free assessment just by mentioning Unmuzzled. Check out Patriot Mobile. Mention Unmuzzled. Get prepared. Get $50 off every single EMP shield you order. Start gifting them to everyone you know. Are you freaking kidding me? The singular best preparation you could do with what seems to be lying ahead. Gain back your health. Check out Bond Charge. 15% off. Infrared sauna blanket. Red light therapies. Blue blocks glasses. So many amazing products that will increase your sleep, increase your function, increase your resilience. The infrared sauna blanket will freaking help detox all the poisons out of your body. Check out Masterpiece. That tincture, it's proven. The frequency weapon warfare is no joke. And it's proven that the more metals are within your body, the more it's going to react to these frequencies. So eradicate these metals. Is it any secret as to why they're spraying aluminum and things like that in our skies? To ramp up the technology to control the masses? To up the hacked, humans are now hackable animals? So that tincture's amazing. Just click the link in the description below. If you're in Arizona, check out Unchained Wellness Clinic or Pure Benefits Aesthetics and Wellness. Get prepared. Get some survival food. Unless you don't freaking care and you just want to go guns blazing, things get that bad. Who knows? It's not doom and gloom though. It's excitement. It's biblically been foretold as to the latter days, and you can see it playing out. Let's grasp onto the excitement. We will be entirely crushed and demoralized without God's love in our life. So he's there. He's on the other side of that door. It's your choice to open it to your benefit or keep it closed to your detriment. That being said, till next time, whenever that is, take care.